is Tarkinu Nupu. I represent the bladder of the Ethiopian race.
My name is Bunu Nupu, and I represent the bone marrow in the Ethiopian race.
Space, matter, and time, and our race represent that as well.
I like that.
I love my race, and I want to see us, get out of the spells that we're living under.
Okay.
The beginning and the end, which is basically
the right reason. Sound right reason means pure intelligence. And let it be known.
Listen to reason. This writer repeats that he is utilizing the Caucasian Bible, the King James Version thereof, to typify religion in general, because it best symbolizes the beginning of religion, Adam and Eve in judgment time, St. Matthew 24:22, and Revelation, and the closing of dispensation of cycle. And most black people in the United States of America are most familiar with the King James Version of the Caucasian Bible, called the Holy Bible, than any other religion or religion book. Religion begins with the rebellion of gods against God in the Garden of Eden, Africa and Asia, 6,000 years ago, meaning the moon god, the leader, the earth god, and the underworld god rebelled against the sun god, who was the overall ruler, and rebellion caused disruption, diversion, and deviation in paradise, the Garden of Eden. After that rebellion, Adam and Eve gave birth to the Caucasian race, and ever since then it is understood that Satan, the moon cycle forces of nature, took over on an increasing basis the rulership of planet Earth. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known.
Let's see now. Yeah, just send it around. All right, true mental cause of peace in war times. I am your host, Tarkinu the Bladder Nupu, and this is a little special live right now. We hadn't been alive in a few. I know it hasn't been that long, but it hasn't been that short either. We just got a nice little show. We just want to give y'all an update. I'm gonna let my Ken introduce himself, and then he can kick it off, and we'll just go from there.
All right, peace everybody. My name is Bunu Nupu. As you guys already know, I represent the African race. I also represent the bone marrow in the African race. And what that means is that each and every one of us represents a part of the African race, whatever body part that we're born in. If you haven't seen the Zodiac, you guys can go to my website, noponoon.com, and you will see that our zodiac signs correlates with a zodiac sign, which lets us know which body part that we represent as far as our universe organism, or as far as our spiritual organism and mental organism is concerned. Basically we're just here to show the new book that myself, Tarnoon, Kwipu, and Nunet put together with the nature books as far as that's concerned. So I'm gonna let Tarnoon give the formal introduction, but Like I said, my name is Bunu Nupu, and I represent the bone marrow of the race. And what that actually means is that the bone marrow is the first, it's the first to be seen when a baby is gestated. So I represent creativity. So a lot of my creations and things like that, you will see that that you probably haven't seen before. So I'm a very creative person when it comes to creating products and things like that. So a lot of things that I create, is very unique.
So also, basically, if y'all have seen the commercial we put out for our book right here, this is chapter 1. This is called the Revolving Circles and Cycles of the One Supreme Being, the New Almighty Nature, the Book of Revelation, Revolve, chapter 1. And what this means is that the Wapians are gonna be crying. They're gonna, the master did this, he did it first. Cause see, I got this book right here. Put in the Wapians. Y'all see this? The L's holding in jail. Garbage. I'm gonna dismantle this book chapter by chapter. I told y'all we was gonna do that. Told y'all that when we sit down and we put this stuff out, we're gonna show you that the master was not the master. He was a faker. And the only way you could prove somebody is a faker is to actually take their stuff that they put out and you dissect it like a scientist. That's the thing. Because they keep thinking that we are not intelligent because we didn't put out a whole bunch of books. Like I said, Marvel Comics put out a whole bunch of books. Did that make Stan Lee a genius? No, because it was a bunch of made up garbage. That's why it didn't rest in reality. And remember, when you're dealing with right knowledge, it's quality over quantity. You understand that? Remember that. That's with anything. And just because somebody put out a whole bunch of something, that doesn't make it right and exact. And that's what this is about. All right. So the reason why, because I know a lot of them going to think that we trying to follow what Yorkdom did. And trust me, all you got to do is get the book, this chapter 1 of Revelation chapter 1 updated. And when you get it, you can sit it next to York's book. You can sit it next to the regular Bible. It don't matter who translated it. All of them are wrong. And that's the difference. And I'm explaining to you out of the nature books first for those who might not understand what we mean when we say these things. I'm going to share my screen so you can understand what it is and what this is supposed to be. All right, it should change. Don't wait for it to change. Okay. All right, this is coming out of Introduction to the Nature Book 2, page 235, number 349. This is what it says. Then the question 2, what happens to organized religions at the advent of Newport Noon? They might be very upset and disturbed, as in the past, as concerning philosophers and reformers. Some members of organized religion might seek to harm the new order of persons and things, but by such thoughts they would do more positive help than negative harm, because nothing can stop Almighty Nature from taking its proper course. What members of organized religion should ask themselves: are we going to perish with the past and our dying spiritual science religion during Armageddon, or survive with the future and the living ether of science noon? The pitfalls and shortcomings of religion, indeed, together with time for a change for the better, are the factors that bring on Armageddon, the war of judgment. Many religions will see the light of right and become elites, and others will perish with their outdated beliefs and antiquated superstition. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. Yeah, here we go right here. I got it. Here we go right here. I got it. Let me share the screen. Here we go right here. Thank you, wife. She put me on. She reminded me of what it is. All right, so this is book 2, number 376, page 254. This is the one that Nusa and Garu and the rest of these people swearing up and down. We don't know what we're doing, but this is what the book says right here. Listen to reason. Therefore, what members of organized religions are advised to do is reorganize. Nun, as written by Afro-Unu, is in the nature of the Ethiopian race. Pay close attention to that. I'm going to read that again. Nun, as written by Afro-Unu, is in the nature of the Ethiopian race. That means it's in us. All right? Because philosopher, scientist Unu is Ethiopian by race. Hence, the reorganization of organized religion will go like this. All right? Each organized religion or each ethnic race choose a council of representatives capable of what? Drafting the science Nun into the nature of the religion. Drafting the science Nun into the nature of the religion of human race being represented. This positive action will cause a bringing up to date of lagging religions and turn them into what? Nun, as in the nature of each organized religion or human race for the purpose of surviving Armageddon. This is what each representative of each religion as capable via their council would turn their religion and bring it up there, because it's going to be too much. I think it's like it says like 3,000 or 4,000 religions on the planet that they know about. That's just what they know about. So there's no way that any Nunibu group will be able to take care of that within the time span before the cataclysm. It's just not going to happen. So the book is very clear that people that's elite in their religion will form a council, and then they would pick the ones from their religion, and they would then draft Nun into it, which is what this book that we put out, chapter 1. We done did the whole 22 chapters of Revelation. So this is definitely going to show you. All we're doing is serving as the example of how it's supposed to be done. Like I said, I'm going to let Anu go into it after I get through reading this when he going into the elite, and then we'll go back and forth. All right, it says, I'm here. It said, this Potter's action will cause a bringing up to date of lagging religions and turn them into Nun, as in the nature of each organized religion, because all religion came from pantheism, and pantheism came out of Nun. So that's why it's saying that. All right, in origin, organized religion of each human race for the purpose of what? Surviving Armageddon and having better and longer life for the members involved. All these positive actions are necessary because this writer and messenger of Nupu nature predicts that all enemies of the Ethiopian race will be destroyed, as well as all enemies of justice and equality. See St. Matthew chapter 24 verse 22 of the Caucasian King James Version, because the Caucasian Bible is the most typical of judgment time than any other religious book. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. And basically saying that because the Caucasian is the last human race to come on the scene. Hold on. Since the Caucasian race is the last race to come on the scene, and the Bible is basically the universal book of the dead, and it represent all of those races wherever human beings are found in the boundless universes, infinite universes, that their book basically predicts everything up to the cataclysm and after. However, you need Nupu and Nun and the nature of nature books to actually take what is up and bring it down. That which is down have to be put up, or that which is meant to be inside, it'll be perceived that it's outside. So you just have to know how to work the laws of the house.
And I are sitting here at a table where our team, our researchers, have been clipping out of the Globe and Mail, the New York Times, the National Post, newspaper clippings about Israel and what's going on just in the last few days in media coverage. And it is a reminder as to how really relevant and fresh and hot off the presses your book is. Here we call it Target Israel. We want you to get this book. Let's get to know Ed Hines a little bit more and what he has to say. We've been talking in recent conversations about Armageddon. We've talked about the false prophet, the Antichrist. There's another cast of characters that are in the book of Revelation called the two witnesses. I think it's Revelation chapter 11. Tell us about these two figures. They are mysterious and perhaps yet not so mysterious.
Yeah, they sort of jump out of the story and surprise everybody, and a lot of people don't even know about them. Two Jewish leaders, obviously, in the context of Revelation 11, that are preaching the gospel to the people of Israel, I think, after the time of the rapture of the church. I think they realize, hey, we've been left behind. Let's not kid ourselves. We know what the New Testament says. Maybe we didn't believe it before, but we sure do now. And for 3.5 years, they are preaching the truth to their own people in the city of Jerusalem. Well, that has to be a future prophecy of what is yet to come in the future. And at the middle of that tribulation period, the Antichrist, the beast, has them killed and executed. They're lying dead in the street of Jerusalem for 3.5 days. When we look at the description of them, they sound a lot like Moses and Elijah. Now, whether it's literally them or somebody in the spirit and type of them, they turn the water into blood, they call down fire from heaven. That's what Moses and Elijah did, yeah. And Moses and Elijah were the two witnesses that appeared with Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration. But then the shock comes. After 3.5 days, it says the Spirit of God came into them. They're resurrected. They stand up on their feet, and then they're raptured up to heaven. I'd love to be watching the secular media on that day. We're here in Jerusalem with the cameras, and the two guys are still dead. Wait a minute. They're moving around. They're getting up. They're going up. What in the world? Now, why would God do a mini rapture in the middle of the tribulation period? I think because of his love and mercy and grace, to let people know that what had happened earlier can't be explained away. This is not some alien abduction or they just went into another dimension. That literally was the rapture, and I'm going to let you see one here to help you understand that. You have at least 7 raptures throughout the Bible. Enoch walked with God and he was gone. Elijah was raptured up alive in the chariot of fire. So that's 2 in the Old Testament. You've got the 2 witnesses here that are raptured up. And you have the Apostle Paul saying, I was caught up, it's the same word for the rapture, into the third heaven temporarily. Philip was raptured up temporarily after he baptized the Ethiopian eunuch.
Translated to another place.
And even the ascension of Jesus in Revelation 12 is called a harpazo, the Greek word for rapture. So you have all this in the Bible shouting to us, it's happened before, it will happen again, and the last time we see are the 2 witnesses taken to heaven to say to the people of Israel, I love you and I did this for you. It's the risen Christ shouting to us with the nail prints down through time that I died for your sins, I gave my life for you, I shed my blood for you, and real salvation can come through what I've provided for you.
That kind of excitement, that kind of passion based on biblical reality is in this book, Target Israel by Tim LaHaye, and you just heard him, Dr. Ed Hindson. I've been following Dr. Hindson for 35 years, and I tell you what, it just gets richer and richer every time I have an opportunity to sit at his feet. This book will help you. It'll help you. It's not written, they tell us, to scare us, because there's some scary things in here, but it's written to prepare us, to know what to expect in the future as we look forward to seeing Jesus as he is. We'll read this and say, come quickly, Lord Jesus.
Call peace and war times. All right. Y'all seen the introduction that was from a few months ago. I think it was in March, I think. And the book that Newt and myself was presenting was the book of Revelation actually revolved, meaning what the book is supposed to turn into when Noon is drafted into it. What you're going to see now is me explaining by way of Sound Right Reason and Noon what the book of Revelation is talking about now, or maybe somewhere in the past. Okay, so a lot of that'll be in between, the 20th, 21st century, stuff like that. So this here is the first chapter to break down was the 2 witnesses. So I threw another video on there just to give you a basic understanding that this is where a lot of Christians think that the 2 witnesses is human beings. The Hebrew Israelites, certain sects, believe that the human beings are going to be black. Like the group you just seen, they think they're going to be Jews. Other people think it will be some kind of people from the Caucasian race. Some think it's going to be the prophets, Elijah, Muhammad. Moses, Enoch and Elijah and Moses. It's just a whole bunch of misconceptions. So we're just going to get through this and let y'all be the judge. All right, so let's get to it. This is my notes from the metaphysician Tarkinu, the Bladder Nupu. The sun style and moon style part of the Namu alphabets will be the base of proving the numerical evidence of the disclosure of the New Testament. Bible interpretation and revelation explanations. Following this short introduction, this is indeed inspiration and revelation and checked by sound right reason. If any fault is found, it will be due to my human error and I will rectify it. Truman the cosmic peace in wartime. So again, if there's any error that you may find in the video, please leave a comment in the comment section and we'll take a look at it. All right, so let's go forward. The New Testament Bible interpretation, revelation, and explanation, chapter 11. Gerther Day 4, week 28, the month of the stomach, noon Ethiopian year 57, Nupu mental year 93, 11/8/2019. This is when I started writing this, and now it's the 1st of December, and 823 days till February 5th from the time of this writing. All right, so this is a couple of weeks ago, so I finally got finished in between my other activities that I got going on. Alright, this is the book that me and Anoop put out. I want to make a correction. Anoop actually formulated the Namu off of the Nature of Nature book 1 when he was dealing with the pyramid alphabets and how our ancestors used the pyramid to create the alphabets and the numbers that spread out around the world. And all cultures benefited from that. So here we're using moon style, which would be 6 east to 6 west, meaning A to Z. All right, you can get the book at newpanoon.com or 59news.com. And the alphabets, what we call moon style, because this is the way it was taught to us in America, which is moon base and noon science. It'll be A to Z, A being 1, B being 2, C 3, etc., all the way to Z, which is 26. All right, and then we go from 6 west to 6 east, starting from Z to A, right? And that's the reverse of the alphabets according to how America has presented it. All right, because the sun and moon cycles are opposite to one another as we move forward. All right, let us begin. The war of justice and equality versus iniquity and inequality. Another thing for the analysis and also meaning of Law 80, this scribe is going to utilize the Caucasian Bible called the Holy Bible and the King James Version of it, because the Bible is most typical of the time and condition of Judgment Day than any other religious book at the time of this writing, and that the Old and New Testament Bible, the King James Version, is the religious book that most members of the Ethiopian race in the United States of America is familiar with, and the USA is the strongest foundation and power of the moon cycle. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. Introduction to the Nature book 2, number 363, page 246. All right. The two witnesses. I was given a reed like a measuring rod and was told to go and measure the temple of God and the altar with his worshippers. To equal stand this, we must read from the Bible Interpretation Explanation Booklet 1, written by Amanubi Rakapatar, also known as Afro Unu later when he changed his name. And it says this in part, Booklet 1, who were Adam and Eve by race and religion? Adam and Eve were Hindu East Indians and their religion was Hinduism. We must understand that name plurality is a key to understanding the Bible, end quote. All right. What I'm really trying to explain is that the Bible, it tells on itself in certain areas where to tell you, Adam and Eve was the only people on the planet. Then a couple chapters later, Cain was sent to a land where people was already supposedly been existing, and so that basically is telling you was other people on the planet before what he called Adam and Eve, and again was other people here. But Adam and Eve, according to the science and the information that we have, has already explained that Adam and Eve were a group of priests and nuns. And you have to go through my YouTube for that, BIAE 1 through 3, and the origin of the Caucasian. I think it's like 2 videos on that, and that's that. So let's go forward. All right. This verse is about the United Nations building built in New York by these 3 men. So when it says I, and you got to understand that, you have to use common sense. A person who is reading a book thousands of years ago, looking into the future, cannot measure a building accurately if those type of buildings didn't exist at that time, 6,000 years ago. Number one. Number two, you have to then say, okay, whoever received the book of Revelation, was their architect? They never said that. These things you can't possibly know, because a lot of that stuff in these books were written for the future. This stuff was not in the past. All right. And these are the 3 men that has something to do with the United Nations building being designed. Oscar Niemeyer, Wallace Harrison, and Lee Corbusier. All right. So if you've been keeping up with the couple of videos I did, I've been going in on the United Nations and what's been going on over there, and it was just pretty much to set the stage for what we're going to go into next. All right, so let's move forward. So you can just look these dudes' names up, and you can go into that. All right, these was the 3 architects that actually had to draw up and build the United Nations. All right, and here's just a picture of the United Nations. You know, you could do a little research and tell you how tall it is and things like that. All right, and they had 51 members in the beginning when they set it up. It's 51 members. So these the original members. If you look into that, all right, these the countries that's in the UN. They said today they are like 100. It's 194 now because Venezuela joined this year. All right, I think like 2 months ago. All right. Then it said, but exclude the outer court, do not measure it, because it has been given to the Gentiles. The Revelation writer is calling everyone outside the United Nations building Gentile, because the UN is considered international territory, which means no federal, state, or local officer of the United States, whether administrative, judicial, military, or police, may enter UN headquarters except with consent of and under conditions agreed to by the Secretary General of the organization. Fact sheet, History of the United Nations headquarters, page 8. Below is the word Gentile in Greek and defined for this quote. Right, you got the word ignoge, pronounced ethnos. Strong's number G 1484, probably from 1486. A race as of the same habit, i.e. tribe, specifically a foreign, non-Jewish, one usually by implication pagan, Gentile, heathen nation people. All right, used as a noun, neuter. A multitude, whether of men or beasts, associated or living together, a company, troop, swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, the human family, a tribe, nation, people, group. In Old Testament, foreign nations not worshiping the true God, pagans, Gentiles, Paul used the term for Gentile Christians for synonymous, see entry, Greek number 5927. All right, this is this guy here. He was killed a while back. He was him and the Arabs didn't get along. He said a lot of different things. I can't remember his name right now, but this was one of his sayings. The sole purpose of non-Jews is to serve Jews. Goyim were born only to serve us. They have no place in the world, only basically to work for them till we die. All right. All right. Yosef, that's his name. Yosef is on record in the Jewish Telegraphic Agency is saying that Goyim were born only to serve us. Without them, that they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. He said during a public discussion of what kind of work non-Jews are allowed to perform on the Shabbat. Why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will reap, they will sit like an effendi and eat, he said to some laughter. Yosef, the spiritual leader of the Shah's party and the former chief Sephardi rabbi of Israel, also said that the lives of non-Jews are protected as Jews should do so for a donkey in order to prevent financial loss to Jews. With Gentiles, it will likely be any person they need to die, but God will give them longevity. Why? Imagine that one's donkey would die, they lose their money. This is the servant. That's why he gets a longer life to work well for Jews. As you can see, the word Gentile is a negative term used by Jewish people for non-Jews who are Romans originally from the Asian islands where all Caucasian people come from. Just to make it known, the original Romans are Jews. Just want you to put that on the record. They will trample on the holy city for 42 months. This is speaking of non-Jewish people. The holy city is New York, or the New Jerusalem, because New York is filled with non-Jews and many non-Jews visit New York. The Jews consider it being trampled on because it is their holy city, but many do not know. And if that secret got out, their plans of world domination would be exposed while they played the background. This was disclosed by using the moon style and comparing New York City to Jerusalem moon style. So you take the word New York, N14, E5, W23 equals 42, York, Y25, O15, R18, K11 equals 69. Cities, C is 3, I is 9, T is 20, Y is 25 equals 168. Alright, then you do sun style, N13, E22, W4 equals 39. York, Y2, O12, R9, K16 equals 39. City, C24, I18, T7, Y2 equals 51 equals 129. Then you add 129, breaks down into 12. 1 plus 2 is 3, or 3 ether. Then you have 129 plus 12 plus 3 plus 168 plus 15 plus 6 equals 333. 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9, which I told you the number of the Caucasian race is 333, not 666. Alright, that's another game that they like to play. The number 333 is spoken of in the 9-ball count 3, number 1 through 2, written in 1971 by Amanuga Rakapata, which says this. Right, the digit 3, like all other numbers, can represent many things and have many meanings. For example, 3 can represent space, matter, and time, liquid, solids, and gases, sun, moon, and earth, male, female, and neuter genders, 9 ether, 6 ether, and ghost, etc. But with the Caucasian race is concerned, it means Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and 333% of the perfect number 1,000. 333% of 1,000 is the Caucasian race limit of mentality. For original man, right, it is 666, and for the Ethiopian with kinky hair, it is 999. All right, so you have mankind or any race that has straight hair. The Caucasian is part of mankind, but he's not. The original Caucasian is not melanated; they was albino. So, but they still be considered mankind because they came out of the Hindu branch of their race, which is part of the Phoenician race. So they would all be considered mankind. So Caucasians is 333, which is a more negative half of 666, which is way more potent. 333 is way more potent, negative, and evil than 666. Let that be remembered. Always let it be known. All right. In this booklet, we Ethiopian scientists shall deal with 3 as it pertains to the Caucasian race, sometimes called white people or the white race. White is a fair description of that race because ghost is white. Therefore, the white race is the posterity of ghost. Ghost is 3 among the conscious gases because it appears on the circle of time at the position of the number 3. Notice the drawn circle. All right, so if you watch the Moloch video, which I did before this, it hammers into 3 and 3 ether, and why the number 3 and 6 and 9 will constantly show up. Okay, because this particular circle here from 3 all the way around adds up to 72. For those who have the books, it tells you all the way, even in the to the nature book, that the smat circle, or the circle of what this here is called, the the circle of existence will always add up to 9. Okay? So that's why you're going to see 3, 6, and 9 all the time. Now we add up Jerusalem moon star J10, E5, R18, U21, S19, A1, L12, E5, M13 equals 104. Sun style J17, E22, R9, U6, S8, A26, L15, E22, M14 equals 139. 104 plus 139 equals 243. 2 plus 4 plus 3 equals 9, or 333. Alright? New York City and Jerusalem both add up to 9, or 3 times 3, or 3 plus 3 plus 3. Let this be remembered well. They would trample on the holy city for 42 months. Trample is defined to walk heavily, frequentive form of tramp. Transitive sense, beat down by continuously treading on, is from middle 15th century related. Trample as a noun from 1600. Here's what trample means in the Greek. The Greek word is patio. I tread, trampled upon. You authority to tread on serpents. Unto you power to tread on serpents. Authority to tread upon serpents. Alright, so that's a basic definition in the Greek for this particular word in the Revelation book. Secondly, they fear non-Jews have no rights but to work for them and die. The city is called holy because the Jews, the original Romans, has made New York their home in the West and made laws through their judicial system while pretending they are trying to rebuild old Jerusalem in the East. That is deception. Okay? And this is why they could have been built stuff over there in Jerusalem, because the Jew is the chosen ones of Ghost God. They pretty much have all the banks. They got the most money. They the richest ones out of the Caucasian race and the most deceptive. They could have been rebuilt that in Jerusalem, but the game is to make people think that they're trying to build it, but the Muslims and the Palestinians and all that stuff and the United Nations won't allow them to build over there. That's part of the smoke and mirrors. If you live in New York, you in the holy city according to their mind. All right. This is a picture of old Jerusalem. Again, this is deception. However, the Jews have successfully set up the abomination of desolation spoken of in the book of Matthew chapter 24:15, which is 2 plus 4 plus 1 plus 5 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3, or 12. 12 can be reversed to 21 as an agenda 21, because the Caucasians, whether it's the Jews or other people in their stock, have all came together for this agenda 21, for those in the so-called elite. All right. But the Jew or the Jewish people are the main pushers of this agenda 21. All right. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. The abomination of desolation is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals signed at the Paris Agreement in Paris, December the 12th, 2015, by 196 parties. All right. So for those who've been paying attention, that is the desolation, and that's because desolation means to destroy. So if you look at the whole base of Agenda 21 and the goals they got set, they blame human beings for what? Destroying the planet. So they're trying to save the planet according to their backwards logic, when we know that the elite are the ones that have been destroying and manipulating for years and years. Take credit for doing it and then still want to scapegoat other people who are only playing to the situation that they found themselves in because they were systematically placed in these particular scenarios. So again, that's the abomination of desolation. Not a big deal. It's not a problem. There's nothing spooky about it. You got to realize that human beings in religion are spooked out, and they don't realize that if you're saying that you're going to be controlled by an entity or a force, and you saying you're going to get the mark of the beast, you ain't going to be the buy or sell or move around, that's done in what? In America, that's done in what? In Congress, in these places where they make laws at. If I can't buy or sell anything, that means it's a what? It's a law. That means you have to know about the laws of your country. You have to know about the laws of your state. You have to know about federal laws. But because they made sure they didn't teach the American public proper, you would not know what to look. and you'll just be caught up until it's too late. All right, moving on. This is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This is the abomination of desolation that was created in 2015 after they took some time from 1992 to 2015 to come up with how they was going to implement the next stage of world domination and murdering a whole bunch of people. So that is the abomination of desolation. We're going to get into that a little deeper when we get into the book of Daniel and all that good stuff. All right. I repeat, those books were written for now. That's why they're having so much trouble trying to figure something out that has nothing to do with the past. A lot of this stuff, the Caucasian has created stories to fill in gaps, because those books that they did, the books that they did possess, that they didn't write, that they got from the Phoenicians, that they was chasing around the planet or outside of Egypt and Asia and all of that, those prophets or those sages put that information in written form, and those were the books that they took out of circulation and banned people from reading them, and they took them from the end of the book of Malachi to the time of, Constantine, that they had to come up with ways to write the books that dealt with now, because they knew that they had to conjure up different characterizations to change things around and then give you a whole bunch of stuff. You got to understand that truth always precedes the lie. So for a lie, a good lie, have to work, the person or person have to have the unadulterated truth to know exactly where to lie at and how to change things from a group to a singular or singular to a group. That which is good, make it look bad. That's how it works. You just can't tell a lie based off of nothing. It doesn't work like that. All right, when we add up Daniel chapter 9, 21 through 27, you get 9 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 7 equals 21. As in agenda 21, 2 plus 1 equals 3 south, and it's 3 is the Caucasian race number. All right, also 3 ether, which is ghost god. What is also interesting that the name Daniel adds up to 9, both moon and sun style, or 333. Moon style, D is 4, A is 1, N is 14, I is 9, E is 5, L is 12, equals 45. 4 plus 5 equals 9, or 333. It's going to keep coming up to that because it's talking about the Caucasian race. So whenever you deal with them, it's that number 3 is always going to follow them. That's the number of their race. This is why Afro Uno put that in the 9-ball count 3 book. In count 3. And this way he introduced us at that time, for those who got a hold of these books in the 70s about the Caucasian race, but it still was way over a lot of people's head because we did not understand how that worked until the nature books came. And then again, Nupu still was developing in the minds of the Ethiopian race to help us become better reasoning, and so we can understand that those books that was written over 30 years ago. Sun style, D 23, A 26, N 13, I 18, E 22, L 15 equals 117. 1 plus 1 plus 7 equals 9. 45 plus 9 plus 117 plus 9 equals what? 225. 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9, or 333. If we just add 45 plus 117 is what? Equals 162. Right? 1 plus 6 plus 2 equals 9. Together this number when rearranged is 1926, which was the year of Afro Unu's birth, and 1962, the year Nupu made themselves known to Afro Unu. Let this be known. Alright, so even though I said 9, if these numbers add up to 9, don't confuse it that 9 is the African race's number, or 999. Our race's number is 999. Mankind race, which is dark skinned mankind, is 666, and the Caucasian race is 333. Alright, so we'll just read a little bit from the nature books on clarity. Listen to reason. Basically and scientifically, there is only one way to do something or get something done, namely by action. And the action can be mental, by mind, concentration, reason; spiritual, by sacrifice and communication with demons or spirits, the dead; or physical, by direct material and physical activities, or any combination of these 3 methods of accomplishment. The way and method of Nupu by way of Noon is the mental method. That is to say, by mind concentration and reason, sound right reason. In universe nature science, the word Noon means the nature of omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient nature. And the number of Novenaire, Noon, and Nupu is 999. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Introduction to the Nature of Nature, Book 1, number 328, page 240. Remember, Daniel's name came up to 45 and 117. This is no coincidence that these same numbers are found in the United Nations street address and zip code. Remember, 45 and 117. See, 405, and you can see the number, zip code 1017. All right? Remember, to the evil elites, bad is good and good is bad. So that holy place is unholy, to use a religious term. Before we go into Daniel much later, let it be remembered that the abomination of desolation is sustainable development goals. Let's continue with the verses. And I will appoint my 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These quotes are in reference to the famed yet confusing 3.5 years the Christian religious world are unaware that started already, in which Nupu and myself are teaching and informing the Ethiopian race about Agenda 21. The 42 months / 3.5 years started June 11, 2018 and will end February 5th, 2022. All right, which is 819 days from the time of this writing, which is 11/9/2018. The charts below are grossly misunderstood. So you do a search on the 1,260 days or 42 months or 3.5 years. These are the quotes that they're using, but they don't understand what they're looking at. They do not get it at all. All right. They really are confused because of the elite of the Caucasian race purposely misconstrued a lot of information and moved books around and kept things out of circulation and put out a whole bunch of mistranslation to confound and confuse the people. All right. So this is them just basically trying to give you an idea of when the time's going to come, but a lot of them are confused and they don't understand. All right, they really don't. So we just here to make it plain by way of Nupu and Noon. All right. The mystery of the 3.5 years of prophecy of both the U.S. and the UN are trying to topple the other by convincing the U.S. people to accept Agenda 21, while most of America's political system has been compromised unknowing to the masses. Bunu Nupu and myself have been teaching on Agenda 21 publicly since September the 14th, 2019, Gertha Day, on day 4, week 22, Noon Ethiopian year 57, the month of the liver. They are the 2 olive trees. This quote is speaking of the United Nations logo, which has 2 olive branches, and the United States currency, which had and has olive branches on a few pieces of its money. So this is the olive branch, the 2 olive branches on the United Nations logo. All right, see the olive branch are a symbol of peace in the world, and map represent all the people in the countries of the world. White and blue are the official colors of the United Nations. And again, when you look into the Bible, for those who are religious or trying to see the facts, the United Nations is what the book would consider, the Antichrist. They said the Antichrist will come saying peace, peace, peace. This is the United Nations. That's all you hear them saying. But when you go deep into what they're about, they are opposite of that. All right. This is a coin that was minted a few times. This is 1945 for Lady Liberty. She has in her right arm an olive branch to our right. All right, walking Lady Liberty $50. Right. If you go down here, it tells you at the bottom, Liberty carries an upraised shield in her left hand and an olive branch in her right hand. All right. This coin was the only circulating coin to feature Liberty with bare breasts. Several design changes occurred after the initial 1916 release. So you have a coin here, same year. Well, not the same year, but when they started the United Nations was being built during this time. All right, so you got that. You have the 1885 U.S. Morgan dollar. All right, on the back of that, you see what? You see the branches. See the olive branch. See, and one in the eagle's hand, and one here. All right. People are so confused, thinking that the two witnesses is human beings. Ridiculous. All right, back of the dollar bill. Even NASA has an eagle with an olive branch. You can see the eagle right here again. Right, even on NASA, you got they got the olive branch up here as well. And the two lampstands, both America and the United Nations claim to be beacons of light and hope to the world. And this is what America said. This is why America's so filthy. Look at this. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. So America is a breeding ground for all types of foolishness. But this is what made America attractive, because they put this up. Send us your poor, your downtrodden. You can't build no nation with a bunch of bums. That makes no sense. Who asked for the worst of other people's country to come here? That just showing you the mind state of the people that put this stuff into power. Then you got the United Nations, the culture of peace, which caused they are a child of the United States by way of the Rockefellers. You know, the Rockefellers and all them people around there filthy and low down dirty shames. So anything that came from America, especially from the Caucasian race, has always been proven to be a bad idea. And the planet has to pay for it. The people have to pay for it. Their laws do not work. It's too much hypocrisy. You can see it over and over. So this is them. This is what they created. And people still moaning and crying now about how the America is a destructive, evil place, because it is because of the people that set it up. And they stand before the Lord of the earth. The Lord of the earth is Jeb to the ancient Egyptians. All right. Today, in modern terms, this means real estate and land ownership. The Greek word for Lord in this quote is kurios, and means master as well as owner of land. This is why the term landlord exists. All right, you see kurios in Greek, Lord, master, a person executing absolute ownership rights, denotes an owner. All right. Now we add up Kurios moon style: K1, U21, R18, I9, O15, S19, 1. Excuse me. You got 11. Excuse me. K is 11. I said 1. I'm sorry. All right. So 11 plus 21 plus 18 plus 9 plus 15 plus 19 equals 93. 9 plus 3 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 ether, 3 south. And remember, 12 can be reversed to 21 as in an agenda 21. All right. Now we go to sun style: K16, U6, R9, I18, O12, S8 equals 69. We add both sums: 93 plus 12 plus 3 plus 69 plus 15 plus 6 equals 198. 1 plus 9 plus 8 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9, or 666, or 333. The Lord of the earth is this man who deals in helping Agenda 21 become a reality by reconstructing whole cities to fit the plan of killing millions of people, has been reported by many books written by those who are pushing people into mega cities by taking their properties in various ways, with politicians who are following Agenda 1 set into motion by former President George H.W. Bush signing America up for her destruction. All right. The 13 families that have been engineering this for a few hundred years now. This is Jared Brookman, right? Jared Brookman has been instrumental in urban development in 49 cities in 21 countries in his 2 decades of work on urbanization. His work over the years has been officially recognized by the United Nations General Assembly, 3 UN summits, and the UN Climate Secretariat Krylo Protocol. All right, he was born 1957, 62 years of age. All right, so he's definitely a big player in the land thing. Basically, we're telling you that the earth god Jeb is incarnated into this person. Is what we're telling you. That spirit god is in this man right here, controlling human beings' lives. All right. It says here that Jeb has 30 plus years of professional experience working with local governments and with the corporate sector in 28 countries. In 1989 to 1990, he founded ICLEI, the local government for sustainability. He served as ICLEI Secretary General from 91 to 2000, right, 9 years, establishing the first international programs on urban greenhouse gas management and the worldwide local Agenda 21 sustainability planning initiative. In 2001 to 2003, Jared directed ABD/USAID capacity building program for the senior city leaders of more than 100 Asia to Pacific cities from 2004 to 2016. He was partner in the Next Practice Innovating consultancy, leading multi-year engagements with companies in the banking, energy, FMCG, health and property sectors to develop and pilot new businesses for the base of the pyramid population. So again, this guy right here started ICLEI, and this is who, if you go back to some of my old videos, that's the organization that they're using to take a lot of the Caucasians' land. And I went and did a little bit of research so I can try to help y'all understand this a little bit more. All right, this here is called New America Real Plus 20 Report Agenda 21 and ICLEI exposed by CFAC Truth Squad video. So we're just gonna watch this video real quick so y'all can understand that Jeb is the one that created ICLEI and founded it. All right.
The United Nations Agenda 21 has stirred heated debate and action in communities all across the United States. One of the UN's principal adjuncts for promoting Agenda 21 is ICLEI, the ICLEI, which stands for International Council for Local Environmental Initiatives. It was founded in 1990 to push sustainable development. 2 years later, at the 1992 UN Earth Summit, that goal was enshrined in a massive document called Agenda 21, or Agenda for the 21st Century. Agenda 21 puts forth an incredibly complex and detailed regulatory regime for the entire planet. It is ICLEI's task to persuade local governments around the globe to support restrictions on energy use and economic development. ICLEI claims to represent over 1,200 cities internationally. However, as we've reported in the New American, ICLEI and Agenda 21 are now getting serious pushback from Americans. They are beginning to realize the dangerous agenda for control beneath the alluring labels about green environment and sustainability. Cities and counties around the nation have withdrawn from ICLEI over the past several months, and a number of states have introduced legislation to end or prohibit participation in Agenda 21. Last month, Alabama became the first state to ban Agenda 21. Alabama adopted a tough law protecting private property and due process by prohibiting any government involvement with Agenda 21. As participants in the Rio Plus 20 summit began gathering in Rio de Janeiro this week, ICLEI was holding its World Congress in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Experts from CFAC, the Committee for a Constructive Tomorrow, were on hand and reported on some interesting admissions by ICLEI leaders. One of those admissions came from Huxley Lawler, who is the Executive Coordinator of Environment and Climate Change of the Gold Coast City Council in Australia, which happens to be an ICLEI member. Mr. Lawler told CFAC Executive Director Craig Rucker very bluntly that, quote, "We don't use the term climate change anymore, it's sustainable development," end quote. CFAC's website coverage of Rio Plus 20 goes on to report that Rucker and CFAC staffer Abdul Kamara confirmed this in conversation with other delegates, including Paul Chambers. He is a sustainability manager for the Auckland City Council in New Zealand. Chambers said it is important to use inexact environment protection terminology when dealing with conservative governments, like the one he says currently heads his nation. As CFAC points out, this revelation by ICLEI World Congress attendees comes at a time when public support for global warming is weakening. It reflects a profound change in strategy by the proponents of climate action and world governance. It is also an admission that skeptics of man-made global warming continue to gain ground in shaping public opinion. That, of course, comports exactly with what the New American has been reporting. The ClimateGate scandals have exposed blatant scientific fraud by some of the most prominent climate activists. In addition, thousands of scientists have been speaking out against the extravagant claims of global warming. This has caused a very significant and welcome shift in public awareness and public opinion. We intend to do our part here to keep informing the American public on all of these vital issues.
I represent the bladder of the Ethiopian race.
My name is Bunu Nupu, and I represent the bone marrow in the Ethiopian race.
In space, matter, and time, and our race represent that as well.
I like that.
You know, I love my race, and I want to see us, get out of the spells that we're living under right now.
Okay. The beginning and the end, which is basically
the right reason. The sound right reason means pure intelligence. Always, and let it be known.
I just can't